Uganda's presidential election took place on Thursday, with vote tallying continues into Friday morning as the country's electoral commission began releasing provisional results from polling stations across the nation. The contest featured President Yoweri Museveni of the ruling National Resistance Movement seeking another term against 7 challenges, including his main opponent, National Unity Platform leader Bobi Wine. The Ugandan Electoral Commission released provisional results on Friday morning based on returns from the initial polling station to complete their counting processes. These early figures provided the first official clips into the voting preference through what they represent only a small fraction of the total votes casted nationwide. According to the provisional results from the first 140 polling stations, President Yoweri Museveni held 67.1% of votes counted. His closest challenger, Bobi Wine, whose real name is Chaholanyi Sentanamo, had secured 33.4% of the ballot from the same station. The remaining 6 candidates share the balance of vote tallied. The Electoral Commission emphasized these figures remain subject to change as additional results arrive from polling centers throughout the country. The counting process continues at location nationwide, with the verification of procedures ongoing to ensure accuracy before incorporating into the official tallying results. The election represented a high-stake rematch between the 43-year-old opposition leader Bobi Wine and the 81-year-old incumbent President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who has maintained power for almost 4 decades. 6 additional candidates participated in the presidential race alongside the 2 main contestants. Voting day on Thursday was marked by significant technical difficulties affecting the biometric verification system deployed at the polling station. Electronic voter identification machines experienced widespread failures that disrupted the voting process and caused a delay at numerous locations across Uganda. President Museveni himself encountered this technical problem when he arrived to cast his ballot at the designated polling station. The biometric verification machine failed to recognize his fingerprint, temporarily preventing him from voting and highlighting the scale of the technological challenges facing the electoral process. Museveni described his experience with the malfunctioning equipment to journalists present at his polling station. He explained that he placed his right fingerprint on the machine, but the system did not accept them. When he attempted to use his left finger, the machine similarly rejected those readings as well. The president acknowledged the possibility that fingerprints may have been enrolled in the system at different angle during the initial registration process. However, he noted that facial recognition technology successfully identified him where the fingerprint reader had failed. Election officials at Museveni's polling station resorted to using facial recognition capability within the biometric system to verify a president's identity. This alternative method allowed him to proceed with casting his vote after the fingerprint verification repeatedly malfunctioned. Museveni raised a question about the nature of the technical failure that affected both himself and voters throughout the country. He stated uncertainty regarding whether the problem resulted from simple oversight or represented a deliberate manipulation of the electoral technology. The president indicated that authorities would investigate the cause behind the biometric system failure. He confirmed that officials were monitoring the situation and would work to determine why the machines experienced such widespread technological difficulties during the voting process. The malfunctional experience by Museveni amplified existing concerns about the reliability of Uganda's biometric voting infrastructure. Similar delays and technological glitches were reported from multiple polling stations, creating obstacles from voters attempting to cast their vote through the electronic verification process. The widespread nature of the technical problem prompted election officials at several polling stations to abandon their biometric system entirely. This location reverted to a manual voting procedure to allow the electoral process to continue despite the equipment failure. Military spokesperson Colonel Chris McGasey addressed accusation that security forces had employed violence against opposition supporters during the election period. He rejected this claim outrage, characterizing the allegation as unfounded. The colonel defended the deployment of security personnel during the election. He insisted that the military and police presence served to detect violence rather than perpetuate it, framing the security measures as a necessary protective step for any electoral process. The earlier lead established by Museveni in the provisional results reflected a pattern of observers in the previous Ugandan election. The long-serving president has consistently performed strong in voter count, particularly in early returns from the first polling station to report their tallies. As of Friday, progress Electoral Commission continued receiving results from polling centers across Uganda's diverse region. The verification process proceeded along the ongoing tallying, with officials working to ensure accuracy in the recordings and reporting of votes from each location. The provisional nature of these results or figures released meant substantial portion of the national voter remained uncounted and unreported. Results from 140 polling stations offered an early snapshot but did not represent the final outcome, which would only emerge once all polling centers completed their counting and the verification process.